Before we get to the latest injury reports coming out of Dove Valley, we've got a sub battle going on with our Raiders channel here at Chat Sports. Now, unfortunately, the Raiders report by Mitchell Wrench is one of the biggest channels under the Chat Sports umbrella, but we are starting with an even 0-0 slate, a race to 100 subscribers starting today. So if you hate the Raiders, you want to win on Sunday, and you want to stick it to that Raiders coworker of yours, hit that big red button and subscribe. Welcome into the officially injured reserve Broncos Breakdown, because that's what this team is at this point. It's very unfortunate. There's a lot of things wrong with this team, but the injuries just make everything 10 times worse. So today's show is just all about recapping the latest injury news, and there's a lot of it. So try not to get lost in the weeds, sort of for myself as well. We're going to go through a lot of names and a lot of updates, so stick with me. But I wanted to share some facts with you guys here, because I think it's important to remind ourselves that, yeah, things aren't going well under the Hackett regime, and Russell Wilson is not playing well. But it also does not help that the Broncos now have 14 players actively on injured reserve, and that makes up the #1 spot in the NFL, above the Chargers at 13. The IR team for Denver, by the way, is over 26% of the Broncos salary cap. Think about that. A fourth of the payroll is going to players on IR. I mean, I myself included, we can lambaste the Broncos and how bad they are right now, but it doesn't help when 1/4 of your payroll is in the medical tent. 19 total players all season long have spent some time on IR. So here is the latest injury report getting ready for Week 11. Day-to-day wise, Kendall, Hinton, and we're going to touch on some of these guys more specifically throughout the video. Jeudy, who of course exited after the first offensive play against Tennessee with an ankle injury, considered day-to-day. Andrew Beck, Glasgow, Eyioma Uwazurike, and Baron Browning. All these guys are day-to-day. Limited now, and these are some more optimistic players here. Tom Compton, we have not seen him once this season. He was on the PUP list to start the year. Hopefully that we'll see him later on. We'll talk more about him later on. Cam Fleming, Mike Purcell, Jonas Griffith, and then the two safeties, Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons. Both of them were limited in the first practice of Week 11. So we're going to do more in-detail breakdown of all the big injuries. But we had a super thanks come into the channel here, and it broke the channel record. Blake Molman. Round of applause, dude. $50 super thanks, and he had this to say, which I wanted to share with everyone because I think it really encapsulates what a lot of us are thinking. Too tight on offense. They are trying but too afraid to make a mistake. The defense has you. Love the Denver defense. Russell Wilson said today it's the best defense in the world. They get free meals at Tubbs Pub for life. I looked up Tubbs Pub. Looks like a pretty sweet spot in Montana. So with that being said, I wanted to throw this your direction here. What is your favorite spot to watch Broncos football? College football, NFL, whatever it is. For me, Chat Sports located in Dallas, Texas. It's a little place called The Loon. If you're from Dallas, check it out right off McKinney. But that's my favorite spot to watch football. Let me know what your favorite spot is, whether you're in the Denver area or wherever you are. Let me know in the comment section. All right. Let's jump into a long list. It's like a CVS receipt of injury updates here. So Adam Schefter tweeting out that Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett told reporters today that wide receiver KJ Hamler will miss the next few weeks due to his hamstring injury. Have not seen him placed on injured reserve officially, which means they are hopeful he will not miss more than 4 weeks. But Hamler this year, he's had some great big plays. 7 grabs, 165 yards. That's a pretty high average, but the plays have been few and far in between. And Hamler's a player who came back from the bye week injured. And that's never you want to see, but that's just been the Broncos season this year. So we'll talk more about the wide receiver room and what this means, in my opinion, moving forward for KJ Hamler. But we got a brand new sponsor here at Chat Sports. I am super excited to share with you all. So today's Broncos Breakdown is sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to help preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Broncos kingdom. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use code CHAT, you can get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat to get your gifts now and help support the channel. I've got the link for all of you guys in the comments and the description of today's show. Check it out, establishedtitles.com/chat. Going back to the wide receiver discussion, it's just another injury. I mean, it's a long list of injuries, but Courtland Sutton, only one healthy. Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Kendall Hinton, of course. Tim Patrick, while we're tossing names out there. It's next man up time. And the next man up is this guy. The UDFA out of App State, Jalen Virgil, who had an awesome NFL debut. I mean, his first catch is a 66-yard touchdown bomb. There's really no other way to start your NFL career off. So, Jalen Virgil, Brandon Johnson, another UDFA who was really popular in the preseason. Unfortunately, suffered a high ankle sprain, but he is back on the roster. Look for these guys to get more snaps and more opportunities. All right, moving on to the next wave of injuries here. This one came out yesterday that Billy Turner was put on IR, but Nathaniel Hackett didn't say his season was over. Instead, Hackett said he's week to week. He'll be out at least 4 weeks since he's on the IR. So, Billy Turner on IR. Fortunately, it does come at decent timing because Tom Compton is set to play this weekend if he is ready to go, according to Hackett. He's a player that's played a lot of games in this league. We need him. We need him for this team. He will practice today in a limited capacity. I've done my best to try and put together a makeshift depth chart with all the players moving around. But this is my best stab of the starting 5 for this Sunday, most likely. I'm optimistic that Glasgow will be ready to go. If not, it'll be another rookie, Luke Wattenberger, who played the end of the Titans game back in the starting rotation. Tom Compton probably slides into that right tackle spot. He's the 6th man. He's the utility guy. He's played pretty much every position on the offensive line in his NFL career. Calvin Anderson will remain at left tackle, but if Cam Fleming is healthy, he'll probably take over the left tackle responsibilities from Anderson. So it'll be some sort of rotation or permutation of Calvin Anderson, Cam Fleming, and Tom Compton at your 2 tackle positions. Now, Tom Compton is a new face for us. He was the 6th man, the extra tackle, the swing tackle for the 49ers last season, and he did a hell of a job when he had to play. 573 snaps, that's like 3/4 of a season pretty much. Overall grade from PFF, 86.5. Great in the run too, 92.3. Had 2 penalties, 4 sacks allowed. This will be a pretty good get for Denver. With all the injuries going on, to get Tom Compton finally playing this season after missing the entire 2/3 of the season with a back injury, big get for the Broncos. All right, more injury news to get to now. The Broncos are without their 2 starting safeties today at practice, according to Zach Stevens at DNVR. Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons are not practicing. Now, don't panic just yet. I've got some good news on Justin Simmons, all right? Eric Delilah, who covers the team, tweeting out that Justin Simmons said he was close to playing last week, but he and the team decided they didn't want to make his knee sprain worse. I'm excited to play on Sunday. And then Justin Simmons had some awesome quotes talking about how much he hates the Raiders, how much he wants to win, and since he's been with the Broncos, he can't stand the silver and black, which honestly, it's always great as a fan to see your players care about your rivalry just as much as you do, because players come and go, but you're a fan for life. So hopefully Justin Simmons will be ready to go. Kareem Jackson, I think, was a little bit of a rest sort of today. Didn't see any major injury designation. But if K-Jack cannot go, it'll probably be Justin Simmons and PJ Locke. Anthony Harris, the veteran, was brought up from the practice squad not long ago, so he might get some more reps as well. Speaking of the secondary, K'Wan Williams, who's been battling a wrist injury all season long, he was put on IR. He is out for several weeks. Big time bummer. He has been sneaky good this season. PFF has him ranked as the 33rd best cornerback. And in case you're wondering, Patrick Surtain, he's number 1. So with that in mind, it's probably going to be Bassey that steps up, Bassey, and takes over that slot, nickel, dime, whatever you want to call it, position on this Broncos defense. And PS2 and Damari Mathis will continue to man the outside corner positions. I think I got it all. But with that all being said, which injury, in your opinion, has been the biggest blow to this team? Was it losing Simmons early on? Caden Stearns was fantastic filling in. Simmons and Stearns are going to be great next year. Randy Gregory, we knew the risks when he was signed that 5-year contract, and unfortunately the injuries, they just seem to never go away from Gregory. Really makes you wonder if he'll ever play even close to a full season. Really briefly touching on Gregory, though, he's considered still week to week. He can be activated off IR at any point. He underwent knee surgery to kind of clean it up. He's had 2 knee surgeries in the last year right now. It's not good. I'm not really sure if they'll ever activate him if they keep losing. Seems a little pointless to rush him back for the last 3 weeks of the season if you are already eliminated from the playoffs. So not what you want to see out of a guy you gave $70 million to, but that's the latest on Randy Gregory front. I want to wrap up the show with something I saw stemming from Nathaniel Hackett's press conference today. Andrew Mason tweeting out Nathaniel Hackett on the identity of the Broncos offense. It's not a good one. And then Hackett went on to further elaborate in greater detail why their offense sort of sucks. And honestly, I will give Hackett this. As one of his biggest critics, he does a good job of going up in front of the media 4 or 5 times a week, whatever it is, and taking it on the chin. You know what I mean? He doesn't sugarcoat things. He doesn't pass blame off. He goes up there and he keeps it a buck. He keeps it honest. He says, we are not good. Our offense is not good. And it starts with me and the coaching staff. I also saw something on Twitter yesterday when Hackett and Justin Outen went to a Nuggets game when they were hired back in February. And they were put on the Jumbotron and the PA guy was like, what are you guys going to do this year? They're like, we're going to score a lot of points. Guys, the NFL has the Denver Broncos ranked dead last in points per game. So that's unfortunate. I guess you don't take Nuggets PA announcers for real. But, yeah, at least Hackett is honest and he doesn't sugarcoat things, but it is not something fun to see. That's going to do it for us on today's show. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, making us a part of your day. I'm going to sign off, but I'll see you all later with more Broncos news and rumors.